The screech of tires tore through the rain-slicked streets of Brooklyn like a scream I couldn't unhear, metal twisting into a symphony of ruin as the black SUV barreled toward us. I shoved Riley out of the way just in time, his body tumbling onto the wet pavement with a thud that echoed in my chest. But the impact hit me square, bones cracking, world blurring into black. When my eyes fluttered open hours later in the sterile hum of a hospital room, it wasn't my reflection staring back from the bedside mirror. It was Jordan Hales, the golden boy who'd spent years making Riley's life hell, his smug jaw now slack with my confusion. I blinked hard, heart slamming against ribs that felt too broad, too foreign. The foredrip tugged at my arm, his arm, and the nurse called me Mr. Hale with a clipboard smile that curdled my stomach. Panic clawed up my throat as fragments pieced together. The party, the taunts, Jordan's drunken rage exploding when Riley dared to stand up for himself. I'd followed them into the storm, desperate to protect the one person who'd ever seen through my walls. But now, trapped in the skin of the monster who'd nearly killed us both, I realized the real crash wasn't the car. It was me, waking up to a life I had to steal back, one apology at a time. The beeping monitors synced with my ragged breaths, a mechanical heartbeat mocking the chaos inside. Jordan's phone buzzed on the side table, screen lighting up with texts from his frat brothers. "Dude, you okay? That faggot push you or what?" My fingers, his fingers, trembled as I unlocked it, the passcode muscle memory I didn't earn. Riley's face popped up in a contact photo, bruised but defiant from last week's prank that left him sidelined from soccer. God, what had I done? No, what had he done? I was Alex Rivera, the quiet graphic design major from Queens, the guy who'd sketched Riley's laugh lines in secret notebooks for 2 years. Not this. Not the heir to a real estate empire, the campus king who weaponized whispers to bury anyone who threatened his perfect, closeted facade. A knock rattled the door, and there he was, Riley, slipping in like a ghost, his left eye shadowed purple from the fall, stitches glinting under the fluorescent lights. He carried a paper cup of coffee, steam curling up like an offering, and when his gaze met mine, something fractured in his expression. Not hate, not fear. Relief. "Jordan," he said softly, voice rough from the intubation they'd both endured. "You scared the hell out of me. But you saved me. Push me clear." "What?" I opened my mouth, Jordan's deeper timbre spilling out unbidden. I couldn't let it in like that. Lies laced with truth, my mind racing for footing in this stolen shell. He stepped closer, perching on the bed's edge, close enough I could smell the hospital soap on his skin mixed with that faint citrus cologne that haunted my dreams. Up close, Riley's freckles mapped constellations across his nose, his green eyes searching mine. Jordan's eyes, for the monster that wasn't there. "You've been such an ass to me since freshman year," he murmured, not accusing, just stating fact. "The notes in my locker, the rumors after homecoming. I thought you hated me for. You know." He gestured vaguely, the weight of unspoken queerness hanging between us like fog off the East River. My throat tightened. Jordan had outed half the LGBTQ club with anonymous posts, me included in the crossfire once when he mistook my stare for a crush. I'd buried it deeper after that, sketching in shadows while Riley shone. Captain of the team, out and proud, the guy who volunteered at the crisis center and still aced bioethics. "I don't hate you," I forced out, the words tasting like redemption I hadn't earned. Never did. I was just scared. It was Jordan's fear, his daddy's boardroom bigotry echoing in every slur he'd hurled to prove he was straight enough, man enough. But saying it felt like cracking open my own chest, Alex's truths bleeding through the cracks. Riley's hand brushed mine, tentative, electric. "Then prove it. Stay away from the lies. Be better." He smiled then, small and cracked, like sunlight piercing storm clouds, and in that moment, I knew I'd burn this body down before letting it hurt him again. But as he left, promising to check in, the door clicking shut behind him, dread pooled cold in my gut. Jordan's memories flickered at the edges, flashes of whiskey-soaked nights, his father's voice thundering about legacy, the girl he'd dated as camouflage. Waking up as him wasn't just survival, it was war. Against the man I'd become, against the prejudices woven into his veins, and against the ticking clock of a swap I couldn't explain, let alone reverse. Discharge papers crinkled in my fist as I stepped into the autumn chill 2 days later, Jordan's leather jacket too heavy on shoulders that didn't bend right. The cab ride to my Upper East Side penthouse blurred past brownstones dripping with ivy, the city an indifferent beast swallowing secrets whole. Inside, the space screamed privilege, marble counters, abstract art worth my family's yearly rent, a king bed untouched by the vulnerability I'd craved. I rifled through drawers, hunting clues, a journal, a pill bottle, anything to anchor this nightmare. Instead, I found photos. Jordan arm in arm with his crew at yacht parties, Riley's face photoshopped onto tabloid trash in a hidden folder labeled Targets. My phone, his, lit up again. A voicemail from Coach Harlan. "Hale, you're off the team, pending investigation. That stunt with Ellis? Over the line." Riley's last name. The accident had witnesses, videos from the party circulating on group chats. Jordan's empire was crumbling, and I was the unwilling king atop the rubble. I dialed my own number, heart in my throat, but it rang to voicemail. Alex Rivera's voice, tinny and familiar. "Hey, it's Alex. Leave a message. Dead. Or comatose." The news clip I'd glimpsed in the hospital said one victim was critical, identity withheld. Me, trapped here while my real life flatlined. Friendship pulled me back to campus that afternoon, a lifeline thinner than hope. I spotted Mia first, my roommate and Riley's fierce best friend, huddled under an oak by the quad, her braids whipping in the wind as she texted furiously. She was the glue, bisexual firebrand, president of the Pride Alliance, the one who dragged me to my first meeting despite my protests. Jordan. Her eyes narrowed, phone lowering like a weapon. "What the hell are you doing here?" "Come to gloat." I swallowed, channeling calm I didn't feel. "No, I came to apologize. For everything." The words hung absurd, Jordan's history a minefield. Mia had clawed her way from foster care to full ride here. No patience for rich boys playing God. She'd confronted him once, after he keyed her car for marching in the Pride Parade. "Bullshit," she snapped, but curiosity flickered. "Riley's wrecked. Thinks you're faking nice to screw him over again. What's your angle?" "Truth." I leaned against the tree, bark rough under palms that itched for a sketch pad. "I'm done being that guy." The crash. It woke me up. Literally. Half lie. All desperation. She studied me, arms crossed over her vintage Bowie tee, the skepticism softening just a fraction. "Prove it. Show up to the Alliance meeting tonight. Listen, don't talk." It was a gauntlet, but one I'd run barefoot. As she walked away, tossing over her shoulder, "Don't make me regret this, Hale." I felt the first spark of possibility. Maybe in this skin, I could rewrite the script, not as Jordan, but as the man Riley deserved. The meeting room in the student union smelled of stale coffee and fresh paint, rainbows taped crooked on the walls like defiant flags. 20 faces turned as I slipped in last, the air thickening with murmurs. Riley sat front row, knee bouncing, his presence a quiet storm. Tall, lean from years on the field, but tonight he wore a hoodie zipped to his chin, armor against eyes that judged. Mia shot me a warning glance from the projector, where she cued slides on intersectional allyship. I took a back seat, Jordan's loafers scuffing the linoleum, every fiber screaming imposter. Voices rose in shares, a non-binary freshman on family rejection, a trans senior navigating dorm policies. When Riley spoke, voice steady but edged, about the isolation of being the token gay jock, the room leaned in. "It's not just the slurs. It's the silence after. Like you're brave for existing, but one wrong move and you're the punchline." His eyes flicked to me. Jordan, holding for a beat too long, challenge and curiosity warring. I nodded, throat dry, and when the floor opened, hands shot up. Not mine. Not yet. After, as chairs scraped and coats rustled, Riley lingered, stacking flyers with deliberate slowness. "Didn't expect you here," he said, not looking up. "Feels like a trap." Up close in the dim light, the bruise bloomed darker, a map of Jordan's cruelty. "No trap," I replied, voice low. "Just trying to understand what I wrecked." He paused, stack hovering, then met my gaze. "Start with why? Why me? Why the hate?" The question gutted me. Jordan's fragments whispered. Riley's easy confidence, his unapologetic hand on a guy's waist at prom, everything Jordan buried under layers of denial. Because you were free, I admitted, Alex's honesty slipping free. And we envied that, feared it. Riley's brow furrowed, searching for the lie, but finding none, he exhaled. Envy's a hell of a drug. But if you're serious, walk with me. Off campus. Neutral ground. We ended up at a dive bar in Williamsburg, neon buzzing, open, over graffiti walls, the kind of place where secrets stuck to the vinyl booths. Riley ordered IPAs, sliding one my way without asking. Jordan's usual, but I sipped slow, savoring the bitter edge like penance. He talked first, words tumbling like he'd held them damn too long. Foster kid bounced between states, coming out at 16 to a social worker who shrugged, finding home in soccer and Mia's couch. You're the last person I'd spill to, he laughed, self-deprecating. But the crash. You looked at me different. Like you saw me. I saw you always. I wanted to scream, but settled for, I do. Did. The bar hummed around us. Jukebox crooning Springsteen. Laughter from a corner table of queens trading shade. Our knees brushed under the table, accidental, electric, and Riley didn't pull away. Instead, he leaned in, voice dropping. Jordan Hale doesn't do vulnerable. So who are you tonight? My pulse thundered. Someone who wants to make it right. His smile ghosted back, tentative bridge over the chasm Jordan dug. But as we stepped into the night, arms loose but sinking strides, my phone vibrated. A text from an unknown. Tell Riley hi from his dead admirer. My blood froze. Someone knew. The swap wasn't secret. It was a fuse lit. The anonymous text burned in my pocket like contraband as Riley and I parted at the subway. His text me tomorrow, hanging like a dare. I nodded, Jordan's easy grin masking the storm, and rode the F train uptown in a blur of fluorescent flickers and late-night confessions. Back in the penthouse, I bolted the door, hands shaking as I pulled up the message. No cinder trace, just that gut punch initial. Hey, me? Or someone playing God with my hell? I scrolled Jordan's contacts. No Alex Rivera listed, but a deleted thread with AR caught my eye, timestamps from weeks ago. Jordan mocking a creep who'd emailed him fan art of the team. My art. Of Riley. Shit. Jordan had screenshotted it, labeled stalker material, forwarded to his bros for laughs. I'd been the shadow he'd stomped, and now his ghost, or mine, was haunting back. Sleep evaded me, tangled in silk sheets that reeked of cologne I hadn't chosen. Dawn crept through floor-to-ceiling windows, gilding the skyline in reluctant gold, when a call jolted me upright. Dad? Jordan's dad. Victor Hale, voice like gravel over speakerphone. Hospital says you're walking. Good. Board's expecting you at the office by noon. That Ellis kid's suing, PR nightmare. Bury it. No, how are you? Just Empire maintenance. I mumbled assent, nausea rising. Victor's world was glass towers and backroom deals, where queerness was a liability, not a life. Jordan's closet was his design, reinforced with boarding school tough love and a trust fund chained to heteronormative perfection. The Hale Enterprises lobby swallowed me whole, marble echoing with power heels, receptionists cooing Mr. Hale like I was royalty. I fumbled through a board meeting on luxury condo expansions, Jordan's jargon surfacing like bile. Q4 projections up 15%, but labor disputes in Queens could tank it. Nods all around, but my mind snagged on Riley, his laugh from last night, the way he'd traced beer foam on the table like absent doodles. When the gavel dropped, Victor clapped my shoulder, grip iron. Proud of you, son. Keep the distractions out. Distractions. Like the boy who'd cracked his son's facade wide open. Lunch was a forced march to a steakhouse with the team, frat relics and Brooks Brothers, slapping backs over ribeyes. Talk turned to the accident fast, beers loosening tongues. Heard Ellis is pressing charges. One sneered, the lacrosse captain with a jaw like a bulldog. Fucking drama queen. Laughter rippled, but I choked on my bite, fork clattering. Knock it off, I said, sharper than intended. Silence dropped like a guillotine. What? Protecting your roadkill now? Another jeered. Heat flushed Jordan's cheeks, my cheeks, and I stood, chair scraping. He's not roadkill. He's a person, and I was the asshole driving. So yeah, I'm done. The table erupted in hoots, calls of pussy whipped, trailing me to the door. Outside, rain spit from gray clouds, mirroring the fracture lines spreading. Mia texted as I ducked into a coffee shop, steam fogging the window like breath on glass. Alliance cleanup at the center today. You in? It was a test, her brand of tough love. The crisis center was Riley's haunt, a brick walk-up in Bed-Stuy where he'd logged volunteer hours since sophomore year. I arrived to chaos. Boxes of donated clothes spilling across the lobby, rainbow flags limp from humidity. Mia directed with clipboard authority, her locks tied back, sweat beading on her forehead. Riley was there, hauling bins, t-shirt clinging to his shoulders in a way that stole my focus. He spotted me, pausing mid-lift, brow quirking. Hail, didn't peg you for manual labor. Reforming one box at a time, I quipped, grabbing the other end. Our hands brushed, calluses rough from fields and pencils, and neither flinched. We worked in sync, sorting jeans and tees for the youth drop-in, the air thick with chatter from staffers swapping stories. A teen volunteer, Sam, non-binary, fresh-faced with a buzz cut, sidled up during break, eyes wide. You're really here? After everything. Riley tensed beside me, but I met Sam's gaze steady. Yeah, messed up bad. Learning to fix it. Sam nodded, tentative smile blooming. Cool. Takes guts. As afternoon waned, Riley and I ended up in the back storage, stacking shelves in dusty quiet. Silence stretched, companionable at first, then charged. Mia's vouching for you, he said finally, wedging a box onto a high ledge. Says you're different. I want to believe it. Dust motes danced in the slant of light from a high window, gilding his profile like a portrait I'd never draw. Then let me earn it, I replied, voice rough. Tell me what I took from you. He leaned against the wall, arms crossing, vulnerability cracking through. More than bruises. Trust. The team looks at me sideways now, whispers about that incident. Like I'm fragile. And home. My mom's cool, but the town's small. One bad story, and it's forever. Empathy surged, Alex's artists I seeing the fractures in his armor. Sounds lonely. He shrugged, but his eyes betrayed the ache. Till you crashed into it, literally. A laugh bubbled up, shared, easing the knot in my chest. Our shoulders bumped as we finished, casual but deliberate, and when we stepped out into the fading light, Mia arched a brow from the steps. Not bad, Hale. Keep it up. Riley clapped my back, warmth lingering. Dinner? My treat. Neutral turf, pizza joint on Myrtle. The parlor was a hole-in-the-wall haven, checkered tables sticky with sauce history, the oven's heat chasing autumn's bite. We claimed a corner booth, pies steaming between us, pepperoni for him, veggie for me. Jordan's palate be damned. Talk flowed easy, favorite bands, he swore by Hosier. I countered with Phoebe Bridgers. Worst profs, Dr. Lang's pop quizzes a mutual nemesis. But undercurrents pulled. Ever think about coming out? He asked midway, casual as folding a slice. My fork paused. Jordan's secrets loomed, but Alex's truth clawed free. Every day? Scared shitless, though? What if it changes everything? Riley's gaze softened, pie forgotten. It does. But the right people? They stay. His foot nudged mine under the table, not retreating, a silent invitation. Heat bloomed, not just from the oven. Something deeper, electric, the line between redemption and revelation blurring. As we walked out, bellies full and steps synced, my phone buzzed again. Unknown. Careful, Jordan. Riley's not yours to break twice. Ice slithered down my spine. This wasn't a prank. It was pursuit. And as Riley hugged me goodbye, brief, firm, his breath warm on my neck, I vowed silently, whoever you are, you won't touch him. Not while I breathe in this skin. But that night, alone in the penthouse's echo, doubt crept in. I Googled the accident on Jordan's laptop, headlines screaming, heiress son in gay road rage. With pixelated shots of the wreck, Riley's face blurred for privacy. Comments festered, slurs, conspiracy theories, a few calling for justice. One username stood out at Art in Shadows 87. My old handle. Heart pounding. I clicked through. Posts from weeks ago, cryptic sketches of blurred faces, captions like, wearing masks we can't shed. The last one, time-stamped pre-crash. What if the villain wakes up in the hero's dream? Chills prickled. If this was me, reaching across the void, what else lurked? Mia's text lit up my screen at dawn, a grenade in emoji form. Bomb plus eye roll plus spill. Now, I groaned into Jordan's pillow, the city awakening beyond the glass like a judgmental audience. Coffee in hand, black, scalding. I met her at a park bench overlooking the Hudson, fog rolling off the water like unspoken regrets. She arrived in joggers and a cropped hoodie, earbuds dangling, plopping down with zero preamble. So you and Riley. Last night. Details, or I hack your Insta. I laughed, surprising myself, the sound foreign in Jordan's chest. Nothing to hack. Pizza. Talk music. He's easy to be around. Mia's eyes narrowed, psychic as ever. Uh-huh. And you're glowing like you swallowed a firefly. Careful, Hale. Riley's got walls thicker than your daddy's wallet. That crash bought you a pass, not a key. Her bluntness stung, but it grounded me. Reminder this redemption was borrowed time. I know. Just want to be the guy he thinks I am now. She softened, bumping my shoulder. Then be him. But if you hurt him, I'll bury you in glitter. By Pride Special. Her warning echoed as I navigated Jordan's schedule, a skipped econ lecture for a therapy appointment I'd booked online, desperate for professional ballast in this funhouse. Dr. Lena Voss's office was a cozy nook in Midtown, bookshelves groaning with tomes on identity and trauma, a fern filtering sunlight into peace. She was mid-40s, sharp bob and sharper questions, settling me into a leather armchair that creaked under my weight. Jordan, the accident, what's stirring? I hesitated, the lie a tightrope. Woke up. Different. Seeing things clear. The way I've treated people, Riley especially. It's eating me. She nodded, pen poised. Regrets a teacher. Tell me about Riley. Words spilled then, a hybrid truth. Jordan's taunts as my confessions, Alex's longing as veiled envy. He's everything I'm not. Open, brave. I lashed out because it hit too close. Dr. Voss leaned forward, glasses glinting. Sounds like projection. Internalized shame manifesting outward. Common in high achievers from rigid homes. Victor's shadow loomed unspoken, but she circled it gentle. Exploring that could heal. For both of you. As I left, pamphlet on queer-affirming support clutched like a talisman, hope flickered. Therapy is tether. Maybe I could anchor here long enough to fix the unfixable. Campus buzzed with midterms fever when I bumped, literally, into the lacrosse pack outside the gym. Bulldog Jaw from the steakhouse sneered first, blocking my path with a shoulder check. Look who it is. St. Jordan, savior of strays. Snickers rippled, 5 against 1, the air thick with axe and aggression. I straightened, Jordan's height an unexpected ally. Back off, Trent. I'm not playing your game. He laughed ugly. Game? You outed yourself last night, bro, defending the ferry? Dad, no. The slur landed like a slap. Echoes of Jordan's own arsenal turned inward. Rage boiled, but I channeled Alex's quiet steel. Yeah, he knows. And he doesn't give a damn about your fragile ego. Walk away. Trent lunged, fist cocked, but a voice cut through. Riley, emerging from the weights room, towel slung over his neck, eyes flashing. The fuck, Trent? He's not worth the suspension. The pack shifted, loyalty fracturing under their captain's glare. Trent spat on the ground, retreating with mutters, but not before hissing. Watch your back, traitor. Riley pulled me aside, into the alcove by the vending machines, his grip firm on my arm. What was that? Breathless, close, sweat-damp t-shirt outlining the rise of his collarbone. Old habits, I muttered, pulse erratic. Poking the bear. He searched my face, thumb brushing my elbow absent, sending sparks. You're not old Jordan. Not anymore. But they're sharks. Smell blood. His concern wrapped warm, and before I could think, I covered his hand with mine. Then I'll swim faster. A beat. Charged. Then he squeezed back. With me? Tonight. Pride movie night at Mia's. Low stakes. Mia's apartment was a riot of color. String lights twinkling over posters of Audre Lorde and Ellen. The coffee table a graveyard of takeout containers. 10 of us crammed the living room. Sam from the center, a lesbian couple from theater, a trans guy nursing a mocktail, and us. The flick was Moonlight, projector humming on the wall, but my focus snagged on Riley beside me on the couch, thigh pressed to mine in the squeeze. As Chiron navigated his quiet storms, Riley's hand found my knee during the beach scene, tentative anchor. Whispers from the group faded. It was just us, shadows playing over his profile, the film's ache mirroring my own. Intermission brought popcorn wars and debates. Best queer rep ever or overrated? But Riley pulled me to the fire escape, city lights sprawling below like scattered diamonds. That scene, he said, leaning on the rail, hits home. Hiding who you are. Wind tugged his curls, and I stepped closer, shoulder to shoulder. You don't hide. That's what drew me. No, what scares me. Slip. But he turned, eyes locking, the space between us shrinking. Scared of what? Voice low, invitation laced with caution. Of this. I closed the gap, lips brushing his, soft, testing, the world tilting. He froze a heartbeat, then responded, hand cupping my jaw, Jordan's stubble rough against his palm. It was redemption in motion, Alex's heart thundering through borrowed veins. We broke apart gasping, foreheads touching. Jordan, he murmured, conflicted joy. Or whoever you are. Laughter bubbled, shared secret. But as we slipped back inside to applause, someone had spied. The anonymous text chime shattered it. Kissing the enemy? Bold. But he's mine. A screen cracked in my pocket, the night's souring. Who was this phantom, weaving jealousy into my fragile peace? The next morning, resolve hardened like frost on the windows. I confronted the mirror, Jordan's blue eyes staring back. Handsome, haunted. You're not him, I told the reflection. You're better. Armed with Dr. Voss's number and Riley's goodnight text, a simple heart emoji that lit me up, I dove into damage control. First stop, the dean's office, anonymous tip line be damned. I scheduled a meeting, confessing Jordan's role in the rumors as youthful stupidity. The dean, a stern woman with silver streaks, steepled fingers. This could end your standing here, Mr. Hale. Why now? Because it's right, I said, voice steady. And Riley deserves peace. Word spread like campus wildfire by lunch. Whispers in the dining hall, side eyes in line for sandwiches. Trent cornered me again, this time solo by the library stacks, voice venomous. Snitching to Mommy Dean? Pathetic. His shove sent books tumbling, but I held ground. It's called accountability. Try it. He swung, wild, and I ducked, Alex's reflexes in Jordan's frame, countering with a shove that pinned him to the shelf. Enough. Security hauled him off, warnings issued, but the victory tasted ash. Riley found me after, slumped on a bench, knuckles bruised. Heard. You okay? His hand on my shoulder, thumb tracing soothing circles. Bruised ego mostly. I pulled him down beside me, our knees knocking. But yeah, for you. His smile bloomed, full now, chasing shadows. Dinner. My place. No crowds. The invite thrummed, promise laced with peril. As we walked, hands brushing deliberate, the phantom struck again. Voicemail this time, distorted voice. Enjoy the interlude, thief. The real Alex is waking. Click. Dead air. My steps faltered, Riley steadying me. You good? Lie came easy. Yeah. Just. Ghosts. But inside, terror gnawed. If Alex was waking, what died with me? Riley's dorm was a sanctuary of organized chaos. Soccer cleats by the door, textbooks stacked like Jenga on the desk, a pride flag thumbtacked above the bed. He buzzed me in with a grin, apron dusted in flour from experimental lasagna, the air rich with garlic and basil. Fair warning, I'm no chef, but Mia swears it's edible. We bumped hips in the tiny kitchenette, assembling layers like tentative trust, his laughter bubbling when cheese stringed everywhere. See? Gourmet disaster. I swiped a glob from his cheek, thumb lingering, the touch sparking memory of the fire escape. Dinner unfolded on his twin bed, plates balanced precarious, forks clinking to indie folk from a Bluetooth speaker. Hosier's gravelly ache underscoring our quiet. Tell me something real, he said, twirling pasta. Not the crash. Before. Vulnerability beckoned, and I wove truths. Jordan's boarding school isolation, Victor's toughen up, edicts masking my own queen's stoicism, the art I'd hidden like contraband. I draw. Sketches of people, the way they break and bend. His eyes lit. Show me sometime. Deal. In turn, he shared foster shuttles, the soccer coach who became dad figure, the homecoming kiss that outed him spectacularly. Best worst night. Free, but fireworks. Conversation dipped intimate as plates cleared, bodies shifting closer, knees to thighs. That kiss, he murmured, hand tracing my arm. Meant it. Heart hammering, I nodded. More than meant. Lips met again, slower, exploratory, his fingers threading my hair, Jordan's hair, as if mapping new territory. Heat built, chaste but consuming, breaths mingling till we pulled back, flushed. Stay, he whispered, not pushing. I did, curled against him in the narrow bed, his heartbeat lulling me like a promise. Sleep claimed me dreamless, for once, wrapped in the boy I'd crossed voids to reach. Morning light filtered through blinds, Riley's arm heavy across my waist, his snores soft comedy. I slipped out gentle, leaving a note. Coffee run. Back soon. J. The campus cafe hummed with bleary-eyed students. My order, 2 lattes, extra foam for him. Toasted with knowing winks from the barista. But as I waited, Trent's crew ambushed from the alley, 3 shadows peeling off. Trader's got a fairy boyfriend now. One jeered, the others circling. Adrenaline surged. I dumped the cups, fists up. Walk. Away. They didn't. Punches flew, mine landing solid on a nose that crunched. There's grazing ribs. Sirens wailed distant, scattering them, but not before a knee to my gut dropped me wheezing. Riley found me in the ER again. Irony bitter, stitches on my brow, ice pack numb. Jesus, Jordan. His face paled, hand clasping mine fierce. Trent's crew. Not. Won't stop. Mia burst and then, fury incarnate, phone in hand. Cops have video. He's done. But Riley's eyes held deeper. Fear. Yes, but fire. We fight back. Together. As nurses bustled, he kissed my knuckles, vow unspoken. Discharge brought us to the deans again, statements overlapping in righteous anger. Victor called mid-meeting, voice thunder. Brawling? With queers? Fix this, or you're cut off. I hung up, spine steel. Then cut me. The fallout rippled. Trent suspended, team fractures widening. Riley's squad rallying with allies or out banners. But the phantom escalated. A package at the dorm, addressed to thief. My sketchbook, pages dog-eared to Riley portraits. Note scrawled. He sees the real me. Not your fake. Alex. Panic clawed how? I'd left it in my apartment pre-crash. Footprints in the snow of my life, leading here. I showed no one, burying it deep, but doubt festered. Was I saving Riley or stealing from a ghost? Therapy with Dr. Voss unpacked it that week, her office a confessional. This, Alex, phantom or projection? Both, I admitted, the swaps spilling in fragments. Accident, awakening, the impossible. She didn't flinch, nodding. Trauma can fracture identity. Perhaps Alex is your authentic self, demanding space. Profound, but cold comfort. And Riley loves the bridge. But honesty is the toll. Her words haunted as I met him for study session, library carols, notes blurring under fluorescent hum. His foot hooked mine under the table, anchor, but my mind raced. Tell him? Lose him? Instead, conflict brewed external. Victor summoned me to the penthouse, his, technically, overlooking Central Park like a throne. Suited goons flanked the door, but I strode in solo. Disinherited, he barked, checkbook slapping the table. For faggot fights. Slur sliced, but I met his glare. For being human. Riley's not a phase. Neither am I. Shock rippled his jowls. You. What? Gay dad. And done hiding. Exit was swift, doors slamming echo, freedom tasting like fear sweat. Mia's text pinged immediate. Heard from Dean. Victor's pulling strings, scholarship threats to Alliance kids. Rage ignited. The Empire striking back. Riley and I confronted it at the center, volunteers buzzing unaware. He'll tank everything. Riley said, pacing, fists clenched. Not if we expose him. Plan hatched. Anonymous leak to student paper, Jordan's emails, dug from his laptop, detailing Victor's donations as bribes. Mia hacked ethics, her fingers flying. This goes viral, he's done. But as we typed, Riley's hand stilled mine. Proud of you. Kiss followed, urgent, against the desk, affirmation amid anarchy. Yet the phantom whispered via email, burn it all? He'll hate the liar you are. A climax brewed that Friday. Protest rally on the quad. Rainbow banners whipping in wind. Chants of no hate, no fear. Riley keynote, voice booming. We're not targets. We're here. I stood beside, Jordan's frame tall in the crowd, but Trent's shadow lurked edges. Egged by Victor's cash? Chaos erupted, bottles flying, scuffles breaking. I shielded Riley, elbow cracking a assailant's jaw, but a figure in hoodie lunged, knife glinting. Time slowed. I tackled, blade grazing my side. Hot bloom of blood. Sirens wailed, crowds surging, Riley's scream piercing. Jordan! Hospital again. Third time's the curse. Stitches pulling as Mia paced, Riley vigil at bedside. You idiot, he choked, eyes wet. Save me. Again. But pain sharpened truth. Not Jordan, I gasped. Alex. It's me, Riley. The artist. The crash. Swapped us. Delirium or dam breaking. His face crumpled, processing. What? Story tumbled. Waking, redeeming, loving as thief. Silence stretched, agonizing, then his hand clasped mine. Doesn't matter. You're you. My you. Relief crashed, tears salting wounds. But monitors beeped frantic. Darkness pulled. The phantom's final text glowing. Time's up. Wake, Alex. Me? Consciousness returned in fragments. Beeps steadying, Riley's voice anchoring through fog. Stay with me. I did, eyes cracking to his face, pale but fierce. Mia dozing in the chair, her braids a curtain. Bandages itched my side, but the real ache was exposure. Truth bared, raw as the scar. Alex, he tested, thumb stroking my knuckles. Or Jordan. Alex always, I whispered, voice mine. Wait, timbre shifting? Panic flickered, but his smile steadied. Good, 'cause I fell for the guy who sees me, not the mask. Doctors murmured miraculous recovery, but I knew better. Swap unraveling, threads pulling me home. Victor's scandal broke concurrent. Papers front page expose, emails splashed like ink, donations frozen, empire teetering. He called once, voice cracked. Son, Jordan, whoever, come home. Fix this. I deleted it. Riley's arm around me as we left the hospital, paparazzi flashes blinding like judgment. Your call, he said in the cab, hand warm on my thigh. But I'm with you. Back on campus, normalcy fractured. Trent expelled, team purged of toxins, alliance swelling with wary allies. Mia threw a redemption roast at her place. Burnt wings and bad puns. Sam toasting to plot twists. Laughter healed, but privately, Riley and I navigated the merge. So you're both? He asked one night, tangled in my Alex's tiny queen's apartment, sketchpad open to his portrait. Nah, just me, amplified. We made love slow, emotional. Kisses tracing scars, bodies learning without rush, connection deeper than skin. Whispers post, love you artist. Always did, Captain. But the phantom lingered, a loose and fraying piece. One last package. Blank canvas, paint set, note, paint your truth. No more ghosts. The part that stayed. Tears blurred. It was me, echoes forgiving the thief I'd been. Victor reached out again, not demand but olive branch. Therapy for him, tentative. Proud kid, whoever you are. Prejudices cracked, not cured, but light seeping. Months blurred. Midterms aced. Riley's game-winning goal with me cheering loudest. Mia's wedding to her engineer beau where I caught the, ally bouquet. The swap? Faded myth, explained as coma dreams to skeptics, sacred secret to us. In the end, I didn't ruin his life. We rebuilt ours, love fierce, friendships ironclad, misunderstandings forged to strength. And when he smiles now, golden hour on that rooftop where it lingered, I know. I woke as the man who could save us both. Wait, no, that's too neat. Rewind. The real climax? Not the rally, but the quiet unraveling after. As stitches healed, so did deceptions. Dr. Voss mediated, sessions tripling with Riley, unpacking layers. My envy is Jordan's mirror to Alex's longing, his resilience born of loss. You're not fixed, she warned. You're growing. Victor's downfall accelerated. Lawsuits piling. Hale Enterprises sold piecemeal. He showed at the dorm once. Suit rumpled. Eyes hollow. I failed you. Both of you. Riley stood firm beside me, hand in mine. Then learn. Like we are. The phantom's silence was gift and ghost. I painted it out. Canvases of fractured faces merging, exhibited anonymously at the student gallery. Riley's pride there, tears unshed. That's us. Conflict crested subtle, a fight over trust. You kept the texts from me. But makeup raw, reaffirming. Friendships deepened, Mia confessing her own doubts, Sam crediting our story for their coming out. Prejudices? Lingered in stares, but we countered with visibility, co-leading a workshop on allyship, voices united. Climax true. Anniversary of the crash, rain sheeting Brooklyn streets. We revisited the spot, umbrellas forgotten, his head on my shoulder. Ruined and saved, he murmured. All in one. Kiss in the downpour, cathartic, washing clean. No M-dashes in life, just us, flawed, full, forward. To flesh. Post-hospital, the media storm hit. Heiress Scion comes out in scandal headlines. Interviews dodged, but leaks persistent. Victor's mea culpa public, board ousting him, but redemption arc his own cross. Alex, fully now, Jordan's echoes faint. Transferred credits to design program. Riley scouting pro offers with bicoastal dreams. Mia's pod launched. Podcast Queer Crashes interviewing us anonymized, episodes viral. Sam's transition fund we crowdfunded, alliance doubling. Tensions simmered. Ex-frat remnants harassing online. Docs threats quelled by campus IT. Riley's mom visited. Warm Texan drawl approving over brisket. Hearts don't lie, boys. But internal. My nightmares of the swap recurring. Waking sweat-soaked. Riley soothing with stories of his own. Foster ghosts. Therapy bridged. Dr. Voss retiring key. You've authored your narrative. Surprise twist. They phantom, traced to Jordan himself. Comatose in a private wing. Brain scans showing awareness flickers. Doctors puzzled. We visited, my hand on his, mine, pulse sinking. If you're in there, I whispered. Thanks for the body. Use it well. Riley squeezed my shoulder. Full circle. Climax. Pro Scout game. Rain-slick field. Riley's injury. Twisted ankle, season ender. Hospital déjà vu. My vigil mirror to his. Not leaving. I vowed, sketching his frustration into strength. Recovery bonded us tighter. Plans shifting to joint future. NYC loft. Art and coaching. Highs. Gallery show sellout. Our portrait fetching bids. Mia's engagement party. Toast roasting our body swap rom-com. Lows. Victor's relapse. Relapse into old rants. But letter apologizing. Loves the legacy. Forgiven, not forgotten. Through it, love's core. Quiet mornings, his coffee black, mine milky. Walks in prospect, hands laced. Arguments over dishes yielding to laughter. Misunderstandings? Fuel for depth. Prejudices? Battles we wage together, voices amplified. And the smile, that saving one, greets me daily, proof. Ruin redeemed, lives intertwined.